Hello everyone and welcome to PendulumEdu, and we are back with a session for vocabulary here. I have been asking you for the words that we've discussed in our previous sessions, and yesterday as well I asked you a question to comment and let us know the word that you remember from the last editorial. So I hope that today as well you must be remembering something that we discussed yesterday. Yesterday's article was based on Venus, right? We were discussing why Venus is not been given much of attention, which it wants, right? Moreover, Mars has been given much. So it was related to our geography. So comment below the words that you remember from yesterday's session, and we will begin with today's session right here. Today's article hits as need for caution on Russia's Sputnik V vaccine. Now, if you're talking of vaccine, it is definitely for COVID, because nothing else has been talked about. Like, nobody's talking about any other sort of medicine or any other thing, but vaccine immediately comes up, the name COVID. Now, need for caution. Caution has been used here as a noun. It means that we need to be awareness, like we need to have awareness, we need to be vigilant, सतर्क. तो सतर्कता जो होती है वो कॉशन होता है, जो एक तरीके से आप कोई काम बहुत ही सोच समझ के करें हैं. सो वी नीड कॉशन, देयर इज नीड फॉर कॉशन देयर. And Russia Sputnik V vaccine, so Sputnik 5 vaccine. So this is by Russia, and you have to remember the name because again this is relevant when it comes to your current affairs. Now, India needs more than one vaccine, but all must come through their long gestation. This saying that India needs more than one vaccine, that's very true, that one vaccine won't do wonders to India, because we need to cope up with this as soon as possible. So it says that India needs more than one vaccine, but all must come through the long gestation. Gestation is noun, which means the period of development or the development time span. The time period, okay, that is the gestation. Okay, भाई हिंदी में इसके लाइक वर्ड तो बहुत ही टिपिकल वर्ड है, बट इट्स बेटर कि मैं आपको सिंपल शब्दों में समझाऊं. किसी भी चीज़ की डेवलपमेंट या ग्रोथ में जो समय जाता है उसको हम जेस्टेशन कहते हैं. यूजुअली जेस्टेशन इज यूज फॉर प्रेगनेंसी, लाइक द बर्थ ऑफ अ चाइल्ड, लाइक द मोमेंट इट हैज़ बीन इनबिल्ट एज अ fetus, and then the development stage completely when it comes out as a newborn child. So that is gestation. Similarly, gestation has been related to like a generic I would say situation or event, that is the period of development. The period of development or growth of something, that time span is termed as gestation. Okay, so they say that ठीक है, इंडिया को एक से ज़्यादा वैक्सीन की ज़रूरत है, but it is important that it comes through long gestation. Means it should come through the entire time. It should go through all the stages that it is supposed to go. As of now, what is happening, because we need vaccine, and for that what people are doing is many of researchers, if you see in many of the countries that you come up, they have skipped the stages in terms of the testing. Okay, so they don't want that. They say that it should be thorough gestation, to thorough examination of that vaccine. Russia's candidate vaccine for COVID-19 appears to have found a midwife in India. Found a midwife in India. What does this mean? Midwife, first of all, is a noun. Midwife means a person, or it can be anything that helps in a process. Generally, midwife is a word which is used for nurses. Okay, they help you, they assist the doctors, and they help in different processes. But midwife, if used in a generic way, it means, or it implies that it is someone who is helping the other person in doing something or in achieving something. So here, Russia has found its midwife in India, which means India is now planning to help or come up with steps to assist Russia with the vaccine. The Russian Direct Investment Fund, that is RDIF, which is piloting the Sputnik V vaccine. Piloting is a verb. I will wipe off the screen and explain you the meaning. Pilot. So it is used in ing form. Though pilot is a noun also, we know, जो कि pilot होते हैं, जो plane उड़ाते हैं. As a verb, pilot means to guide. Okay? और steer, किसी चीज़ का संचालन करना या उसको चलाना. ठीक है? तो भाई किसके थ्रू ये फंडेड है या पायलटेड है? दैट इज रशियन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट फंड. ये भी आपके करंट अफेयर के पॉइंट से इम्पॉर्टेंट है. RDIF ने फंड, या आप कह सकते हो उनके थ्रू पायलट हो रहा है स्पुतनिक V वैक्सीन. Has announced a partnership with Hyderabad-based Dr. Reddy's laboratories to conduct a phase 3 trial. Now, how it has found the midwife? You got it. That support मिला है इंडिया से. और कौन है? हैदराबाद की एक लेबोरेटरी है, दैट इज डॉक्टर रेड्डीज लेबोरेटरी, फेज 3 ट्रायल के लिए. और लार्ज मल्टी लोकेशन ह्यूमन ट्रायल्स हियर. Were the candidate vaccine developed by Russia's Gamaleya to prove safe and efficacious? Now, efficacious is an adjective which means effective. कोई चीज जो प्रभावशाली है, that is efficacious. So कहते हैं कि जो whatever Russia has developed so far, if it comes to be safe and efficacious, the RDIF would supply 100 million doses through its partnership with Dr. Reddy's laboratories. However, there is no agreement to manufacture the vaccine here, unlike the deal between the Pune-based Serum Institute of India and United Kingdom-based AstraZeneca for the Oxford University developed this vaccine. Until unless, जब तक ऐसा देखो, दो रशिया का जो पॉइंट है, अगर it comes out to be safe and effective, they have planned कि वो 100 million doses जनरेट करेंगे और सप्लाई करेंगे. बट दिस इज पॉसिबल ओनली अंटिल, अभी कोई अग्रीमेंट नहीं है कि वो यहाँ पे लाइक डील होगी. अनलाइक द डील जो कि डील हो चुका है पुणे बेस्ड जो सीरम है और यूनाइटेड किंगडम जो कि ऑक्सफर्ड का जो वैक्सीन है वो इसको यहाँ प्रोड्यूस करेंगे. अनलाइक द डील, मतलब इनका डील ऐसा है कि ये यहीं प्रोड्यूस करेंगे, डेवलप करेंगे. बट ये कहते हैं अभी ये श्योर नहीं है, अभी ऐसा कोई अग्रीमेंट हुआ नहीं है. देयर इज टाइम फॉर दैट. Sputnik V is being developed as a 2-dose vaccine on a human adenovirus vaccine platform. Adenovirus is used as an adjective here, though adenovirus is related to adenoid. Okay, it is related to this particular, I would say, adenoid antibody kind of thing that we're talking. They are known for causing respiratory diseases. Okay, so respiratory diseases cause करने के लिए होते तो वो उनको human adenovirus vaccine platform के through डालेंगे, क्योंकि भाई respiratory सांस का ही problem होता है कोविड में, right? So that is what, तो ये 2-dose vaccine बनाई जा रही है कि 2 डोज लगेंगे and then everything would be fine. Moving ahead, it has been said several vaccines that are in development are also being deployed on similar platforms. And the evidence so far is that none of these has been commercially approved for use in humans, though there is an experimental vaccine for Ebola. Experimental is an adjective which means as an example or as an testing, like something that is hit in trial as of now, you are not sure, not like something that is not certain. अभी भी वो एक्सपेरिमेंट हो सकता है, उसमें और एक्सपेरिमेंट की ज़रूरत पड़े, वो अभी भी एक्सपेरिमेंटल स्टेज में है. तो कहते हैं कि अब तक एबोला के लिए तो एक्सपेरिमेंटल वैक्सीन 2 आ चुकी है, बट अगर हम कोविड की वैक्सीन की बात करें तो देयर आर मल्टीपल वैक्सीन दैट हैव कम अप, बट नन ऑफ देम हैव बीन अप्रूव्ड फॉर द यूज ऑन ह्यूमंस. Results of phase 1 and phase 2 trials of the vaccine published in the Lancet suggests that the evidence so far is that it has proven safe and efficacious enough to progress to the next stage of trials. Like 1 and 2 जो trial है इसका vaccine for Ebola, they have been perfect, so they can proceed with the next trial. Controversially, Sputnik V has been granted a pre-approval by Russia's regulator even before phase 3 trials have been completed. इनको pre-approval मिल चुका है. फेज 3 ट्रायल अभी हुआ भी नहीं, बट उनको प्री अप्रूवल मिल चुका है दैट दे कैन गो अहेड विद इट. सो दिस इज अ पॉइंट ऑफ कंसर्न. दिस इज व्हाट has been said by the author in the very first statement, that though India needs more than one vaccine, but it has to go through it complete or thorough gestation period. And the gestation, that is much needed. So if we skip any of it, we might be in trouble later. There is immense political pressure. Immense again is an adjective which means huge, like adhik, bahut. So there is immense political pressure globally on regulatory agencies to get a vaccine out at the earliest. Thus, it is incumbent. When I say incumbent, it is an adjective which means necessary or compulsory. कोई चीज़ जो ज़रूरी है, अनिवार्य है. Okay? अनिवार्य. वो चीज़ incumbent होती है. So it is incumbent on a company conducting such trials to be particularly vigilant. Vigilant is an adjective. In Hindi we say सतर्क. तो उनको सतर्क रहने की ज़रूरत है. Okay? And to be cautious. That all good practices and necessary protocols are scrupulously followed. Scrupulously followed, like minutely followed, like to make sure and ensure every bit of it. I'll wipe up the screen and explain you the meaning of this word. Scrupulously. Now, as I said, scrupulously, it's an adverb first of all. Okay, this word, scrupulously. So they say that all the protocols and the necessary points have to be followed scrupulously, minutely, or with adequate details. कहते ना बारीकी से. So काम बहुत minutely होना चाहिए, एकदम बारीकी से काम चलना चाहिए. It is well acknowledged that 2/3 of the most common vaccines produced globally are made in India. Can you imagine 2/3 of the most common vaccines that are made? They're all made in India. Now this is something different. Like it is now that we know about it, but we have been thinking that there are people in Russia, the people in other nations who are coming up with vaccine, US, UK, but however, see, India is there. It has made approximately 2/3 of the vaccine that are most common here in the market. Moving ahead, it has been said the Serum Institute, where was it? We've just done it, Pune, which has signed a deal with UK for the Oxford's vaccine. So these are points which are again important from your current affairs perspective, so you can make a note of these statements. The Serum Institute has committed to producing 100 million doses of its vaccine for India and other low and middle income countries at less than $3 per dose. The $3 per dose is the rate that they would charge. Reportedly, half of these are for India. All in all, there seems to be a guarantee for only about 150 million doses for India, which given the country's population is minuscule. Now, minuscule, it is an adjective which means small or insignificant. Like जिसे हम कहते हैं हिंदी में तुच्छ. मतलब कह रहे हैं ठीक 150 million doses हमें दे देंगे, but that is minuscule for us. For our country, it is like very less. We need more of it. All of this, of course, does not account for the vaccines that are being indigenously developed in India. Indigenously is an adverb. Indigenously is an adverb which means locally or natively produced in India. Like something that we do by our own, जो कि देश स्वयं बनाता है, देश का, that is indigenous. So in terms with something that is indigenously developed in our country, हम उसे तो अभी काउंट ही नहीं कर रहे. हम 150 million doses अलग बात कर रहे हैं जो हमें बाहर से सप्लाई किए जाएंगे. Now इंडिया में क्या क्या है? कोवैक्सीन है जो भारत बायोटेक ने बनाया है, based on a strain sourced from the Indian Council of Medical Research. And then there's Zycovid-D, the plasmid DNA vaccine being developed by Zydus Cadila. In phase 2 trials now, both are being tested for their ability to produce a satisfactory immune response. So both of them are in the phase 2 trials. India has the capabilities for vaccine manufacture, cold chain storage and distribution to ensure access to citizens and the world. And they say this point is emphasizing or stressing on the ability of our country. Our country is capable enough to provide, first of all, to manufacture the vaccine. It is capable enough कि वो vaccine खुद अपने बल पे बना सकते हैं, उनके पास resources भी हैं, उनके पास knowledge भी है. The researchers that we have, the scientists we have, the knowledge in like people, other like no, I would say the skilled people or the people with stellar knowledge are there in other countries. So our country's people or our country's researchers and scientists are no less. So also we have cold chain storage and we have the distribution technique. We have that resource that we can distribute the vaccine to other, whether it's to our citizens or across the world. We are capable enough in reasonable time, and that too in reasonable time. We are not going to, there won't be much of delay. It is practically feasible, it is possible. But it must not forget that vaccines must go through their inevitably long gestation. Inevitably is again an adverb, which means unavoidably or without any doubt. Okay, भाई ये बहुत ज़रूरी है, इसको आप रोक नहीं सकते. Vaccine, fine. India is capable of manufacturing the vaccine. India is capable of providing the vaccine all across the globe. But we should not forget that on the same page, we should not be in a rush to come up with the vaccine, because if we are in a rush of coming up with the vaccine, it may result or it may lead us into a loophole stuff wherein why would we land up in a dark room? The reason is that maybe later, if we avoid the gestation period, if we avoid the steps to be taken, if we avoid the possible or the required details to be taken care of, then probably later, once the vaccine is out in the market, we can have the side effects, and that could be worse. Okay, that could just worsen the situation. It will be like adding fuel to fire. Okay, so we are not supposed to be doing so. So they say to ensure that only those that are safe and efficacious, effective, make their way to the market. जो कि बहुत safe है, एकदम safe है और effective है, सिर्फ वो ही market में आने चाहिए. ऐसे तो बहुत सारे vaccines अभी भी लोगों ने बना दिए, बट ज़रूरी नहीं है कि वो effective हो. चलिए effective हैं, we can see are they safe? Like you don't know what effect or they would have in later span of time. जैसे हमने कोई किसी human body में inject किया antibody या any sort of vaccine, what impact does it have like over the years, like 2 to 3 years or 5 years or maybe 10 years? We have to have that knowledge. Only then it will work, right? Okay, so this is what the country, or you can say the world, is struggling and juggling with. It is the vaccine for COVID, because this pandemic has hit us hard. As I have said it earlier as well, that we should not rush for it. We should have patience, we should be patient and wait for the correct thing to come up. So these are the words that we had to discuss with you today. Today we did many adverbs here, if you might have noticed. A lot of adverbs we discussed. Along with that, we had verbs and adjectives. Like part of speech is always there, but more of adverbs were there today to discuss with you. I want you to focus on this word inevitably. Now this has been derived from this word inevitable. Inevitable is an adjective, and if you add inevitably, if you make it y at the end, it becomes an adverb, and दोनों का मतलब है ऐसी चीज़ जिसको avoid नहीं कर सकते. Unavoiding in nature, that is unavoiding in nature, is inevitable or inevitably. Okay. practice these words. And if you see incumbent, today there was a word incumbent, and this word we had discussed in the last article as well. It was there also. Now incumbent has two uses. It can be used as a noun, it can be used as an adjective. Incumbent as a noun was a person who has come up as an office holder, or an adjective was something that is necessary to begin. Okay, so you have to know the difference in the usage and the meaning. Only then you can crack the passage or the comprehension, or in any sort of sentence that is given to you. And to, first of all, you have to comprehend the text. Only then you can solve it, right? So start working on these words. And as I have always suggested, you keep learning and growing, and not to forget to hit the like button to the video. Also subscribe to the channel for more sessions with us. Keep learning and growing. Thank you so much.